Hey everybody, this is Barry Johns. I'd like to welcome you back to another edition of Studio Talk. You know, if you've been watching my channel, you know I've put out some videos in the past that have been critical on Universal Audio, lack of development in their DSP for a very long time. I've also praised them for a lot of the moves that they've made recently, and so I like to think I'm fairly balanced. I actually really like the company. I think they probably just sat on their laurels too long, okay? So today I'm going to talk about a recommendation I have for Universal Audio that if they can develop this technology, I think that will solidify their dominance, because let's be honest, they have been relatively dominant in the home project studio market for quite some time. They'll maintain that dominance. If they don't do something like this, I think they may be challenged with it. So let's get on to my points. So here's what I think they need to start with. I think they need a brand new interface that markets to the serious project home studio user as well as the professional, one that can cover all the gamuts, all right? And to start off with, I think what they need to do is have a 4 input, 8 input, 16 input, and then a 32 input interface, and I think that will help them solidify themselves. Now, what does this interface need? Let's talk about that. Next up, it's time to drop the Shark processors. You need to develop your own brand new tech for being able to do latency-free DSP plug-in processing that allows you to continue to take that next level. I think from everything I've gained, the knowledge I've gained, I think you're kind of constrained by that tech because it is so old and maybe you only have so much you can do with it. But right now, the level of DSP that you can get for the money is nowhere near justified for the price. So develop new DSP processing. Okay, now this one is really the kicker. I think this is probably one of the most important things that I think you need to incorporate, okay? And that's your digital I/O. First up, you got to have SPDIF on everyone. For some reason, that's a tech that a lot of manufacturers have stopped implementing in many of their interfaces. And the problem with that, those of us who use like Kempers and Axifax and a lot of those things like to use the digital I/O of that. So keep that, all right? Next up, of course, you've got to have ADAT. I'm going to say you need four separate in and out of ADAT so you can do an additional 16 input of ADAT I/O, okay? You've already got that. Now here's where I think you really need to take it to the next level. A lot of people don't know why they're going to need this in the future. There's some people who will never use this, but the power of this and what you can do and interfacing various pieces of gear in your studio, especially in a professional market, I think this has to be considered at this point. And that's adding either AVB, MADI, or Dante. I think you need one of those formats, preferably like 2 all in one, like as an example, Focusrite is done. If there's any interface out there that I'm confident that gets a digital I/O the very best, it's a Focusrite Red line 8 and line 16, or 16 line and 8 line, I think it's called. I think they've got the digital I/O. That's really kind of mirroring a lot of what they do, all right? So you want to be able to talk with different gear and be able to do it fluidly and very simply, okay? So implement that level of digital interfaces, okay? Next up, don't make the same mistake that Avid made with the Carbon. When you implement Dante, AVB, or MADI, whichever one you decide going with, or a combination of them, make sure you don't make it proprietary. That was a big problem they had with the Avid Carbon. Once you got it, okay, you really couldn't use the AVB part of it unless you're using Avid gear. And to date, I'm unaware of any AVB gear, even made by Avid, that you can use with it. You know, Avid has a history of making things proprietary, and that just pisses customers off, so don't do that. Make it available to where you can use it with anybody else's gear, okay? Really, really important. You know, in my journey, I've learned a lot from watching other people. You know, I have no problem copying techniques from someone else, and I'm going to try to make them even better. So next up is what I think Universal Audio needs to do. I think they need to copy Avid. Yeah, I said Avid, but only in this one thing, not everything else. You know, the Avid Carbon, of which I used to be an owner of until I got fed up with Avid as a company, is freaking off the charts amazing. What they have done with their hybrid engine, if you're not familiar with that, you should go look at it. But basically, what that does is give you the ability to only use DSP when you need it. So when you're tracking, you throw whatever channels you're tracking into DSP mode, you track, and then once you're finished, those plugins revert back to native mode, giving you way much more processing power than you could ever get with your satellite units being done on your computer. So I think you need to copy what they've done. And I think this advice alone is probably the strongest suggestion I want to make. Let's say you forget about all the others. Just make this one, because this will ensure your longevity. We need to be able to use these machines on any DAW we want and not have to be tied to Luna. So give us the ability to track with DSP only, yes, only when I need it, okay? And therefore rely on the native plugin processing for everything else. That workflow is freaking off the charts amazing, and Universal Audio, you need to copy them. And hey, you know what? Improve upon it. Make it even better, all right? Okay, so lastly, what I think they need to do, and I think this is a no-brainer, take care of your existing users who are highly invested into your current ecosystem by allowing them to continue to use whatever Apollo or DSP-based units that they have, as well as any satellite units, to work side by side with this new tech, okay? I think you don't want to alienate all those loyal customers. You definitely have very, very, very loyal customers. I can tell you that for sure. They always seem to let me know. But there's a reason for that, okay? And the advice I'm trying to give to you today is one that's going to retain all of those loyal users, okay, and get you even a heck of a lot more. If you develop the interface that I'm talking about with all of the features and the tech I'm talking about, and let's face it, all that's easily done within your current abilities, okay? Some of it's just stuff you're already working on or stuff that plenty of people have already done, okay? So this is not rocket science. It's a matter of putting all these things together to make the interface of our dreams, okay? And that certainly would be mine. If you make this interface, I guarantee you I will buy it, okay? I've said many times on my channel, I think most people who are in DSP that only do audio or primarily do audio, they really don't need DSP. They think they do, but they don't. If they invested that money in a more modern computer, they wouldn't really need it, okay? How do I know that? I've been working natively for years now. It's really no big deal, okay? And then as well as that, then you're going to get into the fact that some people do need DSP. There are people who do a lot of virtual instruments, things like that are incredibly resource hogs on a computer, okay? And even the most up-to-date computers, you're going to run into limitations by trying to keep a low buffer and still be able to track. So for those folks, yes, I can see that, I can certainly say without a doubt that there's benefit to DSP for those folks, okay? But you don't need it all the time. So come on. Take my advice, Universal Audio. I know I'd appreciate it, and I'd buy your tech, and I'd be singing your freaking praises all day long. So if you like the things I talk about on this channel, do me a favor. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, and then that notification bell so you know when I've got a new video out. My channel turned 1 year old this month, so I'm kind of celebrating that this month. Okay, we've grown pretty fast. You and I together, grown pretty fast. And so I'm really excited about that, and I'm really happy for it because it makes me feel like I'm doing things to help folks, okay? I don't know it all. I never profess to be or to say that I do, but I'm going to share what I have learned and hopefully can help some of you along your journey as you continue to work on your skill set and your knowledge. Knowledge, my friend, is power, so get as much of it as you can, all right? Now, do me a favor. Leave some comments down below. Now, be civil, okay? The majority of you are really cool. You're a cool hang to hang out with. But there's some of you keyboard warriors out there that don't even bother to watch the video. They come in and take their slams right out of the gate because even the title or the thumbnail has set them off, okay? So I see my camera's going in and out of focus, and I apologize for that. This is the end of this, so hopefully it didn't go in and out too much. I can see because I got an Atmos Ninja 5 over there looking at myself, but I can't keep looking at it because I need to look at you. So anyway, until next time, oh man, it's doing it again. Where I got to be? Oh, there I am. Okay. I'm going to do it like this. Until next time, I hope all of you have a great day. Seriously, okay? Bye-bye.